Welcome, folks. Today, the topic of interest is how the law of attraction works. So, I'm going to be breaking a couple things down. So, when we're talking about the law of attraction, there are going to be different reactions. So, some people are going to be thinking, oh, no, woo-ha, doesn't make sense. Look, man, all I'm saying is just stick with me and listen and hear the video out because there's certain things that you'll be able to take away that will help you advance and help you achieve the things that you want most. So, we're going to break it down. So, the first key idea in regards to the law of attraction is the idea that you normally attract the things that you are quote unquote vibrationally aligned with. So when we're talking about you being vibrationally aligned with, we're talking about you being emotionally in tune with. You want to come to a point where you feel as though you're going to have the thing that you want, or you feel as though it's just a matter of time that you're going to attain the thing that you want, or you feel as though you already have it. Now, when you study the lives of people who've done really, really well, you notice that there's one common denominator, and you can study like any field that you want, sports, music, and it's whatever. You'll notice there's one key theme. And the key theme that you always see is that always say like, I always felt as though I was going to have it. I always knew I was going to be as champion. I always knew it was a matter of time. I always knew, I always felt. That often comes up. When I was listening to an interview with Jay-Z and I was talking about Kanye West, I was talking about when Kanye West, before he'd even released any albums, when they were having interviews, he'd just hop on the table and he'd go and break out into monologues telling people that, I'm the savior of Chicago. I'm going to change the world. He's speaking like that because he's already living in that reality. Emotionally, he feels like it's just a matter of time before his prophecy becomes true. Conor McGregor as well. Look at his early interviews. This man is talking as though he knew he was going to be the champion. He was saying, yeah, I can see myself standing on top of the octagon, holding the belt. Mike Tyson, I knew I was a champion, and when at the age of 15, before he's even had a fight, because he's living in that reality already. Emotionally, he's got to the place where he's there. Now, the thing I'm stressing is emotion. You want to get to a point where you feel as though you have the thing already, because when you feel as though you have the thing already, you feel that it's a matter of time. You know that you're on the right track. Now, the reason why I say emotions are so important is because the emotional states that you live in are very important. They influence the ability that you're able to display. So I'm not talking about emotions. You got to understand emotions are habits. If you go about and you just ask people, what emotions did you experience today? Most people won't be able to give you any more than 12. Most people will say anywhere from between 6 and 12, which isn't a lot of emotions, considering that the hundreds of different emotions a person could be experiencing. To only be experiencing less than 12 kind of tells you that you're locked into a particular habit of doing things. Now, for the most part, the dominant emotional states that people live in are disempowering emotions. So most people will live in fear, anxiety, worry. These emotions aren't helpful. You want to come to a place where you're living in the emotional state of, confidence, power, expectancy, belief. Now, the reason why I say this is because the emotional states that you live in on a consistent basis will influence the type of reality you build for yourself, because the level of ability you're able to display varies depending on the emotional state that you're in. So think about it. When you're in a state of mind where you're feeling confident, you're feeling bold, you're feeling secure, you're feeling like, I got this, you show up completely differently. You're able to charm the whole room. Everybody's laughing at your jokes. It's seamless. It's a great time. Everybody wants to be around you. Things are just flow naturally, right? You don't have to be in your head. But when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling worried, when you're living in that emotional state, things become complicated. The things that you're normally able to do become like rocket science. Like your conversation aren't flowing as much. Everything seems more difficult. And the big difference is basically just the emotional state of mind you're in. You want to come to a point where you're feeling dominant emotional states the majority of the time, because when you're feeling that, you will take completely different action. You will persist when you feel belief, confidence. You will know that I'm going to attain this. You will persist. You won't persist. You'll be on and off, on and off. If you're always feeling in worry, you're not feeling sure. The performance in a person varies depending on the dominant emotional states of mind that they're in. So you want to make sure that your dominant emotional states are empowering to you. Now, when we start moving into the part aspect of quote unquote attracting, what we're talking about is now when you've come to a point where you're really zeroed in and you're focused on the thing that you want and you see yourself with it, you're living it, you're breathing it, you're thinking, yep, I'm going to get it, I'm going to attain it. What tends to happen is that you start becoming more aware of the opportunities around you that line up with the thing that you want most. So it's the funniest thing. Some people call it luck, some people call it happenstance. All of a sudden you start running into people who line up with the things that line up with the thing that you want to do. So there's a saying, they say when the student is already there, the teachers appear. And it lines up because I was thinking about how I got my mentors. It was the most random thing ever. So during the first lockdown 2 years ago, I remember there was a period where I thought, okay, cool. I'm in a position now where I have all this time and I'm reflecting on what I want to do most of my life. I want to become the greatest peak performance coach ever. I put it out there. That's what I want. So I started putting out videos like a maniac. And then all of a sudden, the mentors that I needed appeared. Like I found them online. They got in touch with me. We got to talking. They're like, yeah, we can help you out. And then I pay for their services, and I grew exponentially through that time. But I had to be in that state of mind. I had to be ready. Like I probably would have overlooked that opportunity if I wasn't in the state of mind of being focused on what I wanted for myself. And the same is true for you guys. When you come to a point where you really zero in and you focus on things that you want, opportunity arises. So there'll be opportunities that can advance you. The right people that need to help you will appear. The help comes when you're helping yourself. So when you're focused on what you want, the help arrives. Now, key distinction here. We're talking about you being focused on what you want. What people tend to do is they tend to focus on what they don't want. And when you focus on things that you don't want, you experience completely different emotions and you attract more of the things that you don't want. Because what you want and what you don't want are two sides of the same coin. So for example, let's say you're in a position where you've got a car and your car's kind of beaten up and you're thinking, man, this car be trash. I want a new car. So you can go on the side of thinking, you know what? I want a new car. Let me think about me attaining this new car, what it's going to be like to have this new car. I'm so excited. I'm coming to the point of belief. And now I'm at a point where I know that I'm going to get a new car. Or the other side of the coin would be thinking, I don't want this trash car. I'm tired of this car. I no longer want this car. This car is always breaking down on me. This is not what I want. Now, when it comes to the point where you start focusing on the things that you don't want, or you're focusing on the things that you don't have, you come to a point where you start feeling frustration, you get annoyed, you get discouraged because you're focusing on the things that you do not want, right? And then when you start focusing on the things that you do not want, those become your dominant emotional states. So this applies in everything. I really want to attract somebody that's really, really like good to me, and I want to have an amazing relationship, or I just don't want to be alone, right? I want to have wealth, abundance. I don't want to be broke. I want to have fantastic health and a long life, or whatever. I want to have fantastic health. Like, I don't want to suffer with these ailments anymore. Those are two sides of the same coin. So you really want to become consciously aware of what you're focusing on. So when we're talking about what you're focusing on, one key thing, which is going to open the doors to this, is starting to use visualization, because visualization is what bridges the gap. So this is effort. So some people think like, Lord, I just close my eyes and then it happens. No, you have to come to a point where you start visualizing and seeing yourself with the thing that you want most. So this is effort, and you have to do it consistently over and over again. You see yourself with it, you experience it, you use all your senses when you're visualizing it. What does it look like? What sounds can I hear? How do I feel? What's the temperature of the room? You want to see it as vividly as possible and play it back over and over again in your mind, because that's when you come to a point of severe confidence and belief. And when you come to the point of that severe confidence and belief that you have it, some people may think that, it's a form of delusion. But then that when I've come to that point and I feel as though I'm going to have the thing, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. And you need to have that level of delusion. Some people call it delusion, but it's the truth. It happened. It will happen. You'll take the necessary steps. You will get there. It's just a matter of time. That's just what it is. So feelings are important. You want to pay attention to how you're feeling about your goals. If you're feeling frustration, anger, discouragement, then you're probably not focusing on the things that you want most. You're probably focusing on things that you do not want. So this is repetition. You got to do this over and over again. So that's the idea for today. You guys take care of yourself, apply what makes sense to you, and we'll speak again soon. Peace.